show of hands if you know the song, Zacchaeus was a wee little man. Awesome! Sing along. Raise your hands again. Okay, because I can't sing. Is this thing on? Because you don't want me to sing. Tim Shellhammer, can you start us? Yes, you can. All right, ready?
Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a wee little man was he. He climbed up in a sycamore tree, for the Lord he wanted to see. And as the Savior passed that way, he looked up in the tree, and he said, Zacchaeus, you come down, for I'm going to your house today, for I'm going to your house today.
Obviously, if we've spent any time in a youth Sunday school room, or vacation Bible school, or youth summer camp, in any capacity, we may know this song, and we proved that hypothesis in my sermon correctly. That little song for the scripture heading this morning under Jesus and Zacchaeus. Luke 19, 1-5 tells us, he entered Jericho and was passing through it. A man was there named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was rich. I love how Isaiah knew that, right? He's rich. He was trying to see who Jesus was, but on account of the crowd, he could not because he was short in stature. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore tree to see him because he was going to pass that way. When Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. So we have Jesus entering and passing through Jericho. We're not sure where he's going. We're not told a destination in this scripture. And we got this man named Zacchaeus. He's a chief tax collector and he is rich. And as Sharon reminded the kids, tax collectors are not looked upon favorably in the time of Jesus. We don't really look upon them favorably either, but at least they're not allowed to skim off the top from us. Tax collectors work for the Roman Empire, and they take their money from their neighbors and they give it to Caesar, who's oppressing the people. But then the tax collectors further oppress the people by taking even more money. And as Sharon said, the government didn't care that they were charging more money as long as the government got the percentage that it demanded to have. And so these tax collectors became wealthy. And not only is Zacchaeus a tax collector, but he's a chief tax collector, meaning that he's on the top of the pyramid of oppression and wrongs done to his neighbors, and has many tax collectors working under him. And so there's no doubt about his being rich, because it all funnels up. We have to remember that Jericho is a big city. Herod has a grand palace there, and therefore Zacchaeus lives in a major center of taxation. As my husband would say, this isn't out in the bush somewhere. This is in a very important place. And we're told that Zacchaeus is short, which is something I can identify with. He's trying to see who Jesus is. There's this crowd around someone, and this person commands a lot of attention. People want his attention, and he wants to know who this person is in the center of all of this. He thinks, I can't see over all of these people, but there's a tree over there. I'll go and climb it. And he runs to the tree, showing that he's eager to see who Jesus is. My guess is there weren't people like fighting to climb up trees, or men fighting to climb up trees, so he was probably the only one there. This is somebody important. Who is this person that I can't see? And so Zacchaeus climbs the tree, not knowing who will be there in his line of sight. And we're told the tree is a sycamore tree, and the wood, though soft and porous, is quite durable and is often used for furniture and construction of buildings. So this is a sturdy tree that Zacchaeus climbs, and he has no hesitation climbing to get a better look. Rob, right now, would you run to go climb a tree? No, wrong person to ask. Bob Plunkett, would you go climb a tree? He would. See, we have a congregation full of Zacchaeuses. I would not. As a kid, I was extremely clumsy and usually fell out of the tree. I wonder when the last time Zacchaeus climbed a tree was. He's busy making money. When's the last time he pretended to be a kid and climbed a tree? And so when Jesus comes by the tree, Jesus sees him, this man who has taken the initiative to see what the fuss is all about, to see who commands such presence. And even though it is his intention to watch Jesus walk by just to see who it is and not be noticed, we know that's not what happens. He attracts the attention of Jesus. We have to wonder if he would have attracted the same attention had he been standing on the ground. How common or uncommon would it be in ancient times to see a grown man in a tree? Jesus says, and that's the way we always point our finger in the song, Zacchaeus, hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house today. The children's song, as we learned it, stops there, with Jesus saying, I'm going to your house. But there's more to the biblical narrative, and as cute as the song is, it doesn't show why it's important for Zacchaeus to climb the tree in the first place. Zacchaeus has to be shocked. Jesus knows him by name. We are to assume that he knows who Jesus is when he sees him. Maybe he's heard him speak before, teach before, or maybe he's been told about Jesus' teachings. And if so, he knows that Jesus has a lot to say about people like him. Jesus has a lot to say about people who take advantage of their neighbors. He has a lot to say about inequality and injustice. And here Zacchaeus is in the tree and is told by Jesus, I'm coming to your house for a meal and a chat. It's not a suggestion. It's not a question. Mom, can I have a friend sleep over? Not that kind of question. Jesus doesn't say, can I come over? Jesus says, I'm coming to your house. It's an invitation Jesus issues to Zacchaeus, not only to dine with him and to talk with him, but for Zacchaeus to be in right relationship with God and God's people. Jesus invites himself to the home of a tax collector in a stunning breach of etiquette in his time, and also yet another demonstration of his reputation for associating with those people, those outsiders, those on the margins, those who are not good enough. And then rather than be defiled by association with people like tax collectors, Jesus instead communicates wholeness and welcome. Jesus issues an open invitation to everyone. Luke 19:6-10 tells us, so he hurried down and was happy to welcome him. All who saw it began to grumble and said, he has gone to be the guest of one who is a sinner. Zacchaeus stood there and said to the Lord, look, half of my possessions, Lord, I will give to the poor, and if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I will pay back 4 times as much. Then Jesus said to him, today salvation has come to this house because he too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek out and to save the lost. Even though Jesus is communicating wholeness and welcome, those around him start to grumble. They say, he's eating with a tax collector. He's going to go stay at the home of a sinner and not someone super perfect like me. We have to remember it's a big deal for these people. The Pharisaic standard is that if you share a meal with people, you accept their way of life, you approve of that person if you sit down with them. You are who or what you spend your time with. And so people are taken aback because it seems like Jesus is okay with Zacchaeus' sinning and his extortionist lifestyle. As Sharon said, he probably has a really nice home and servants to make the meal. He has more than a lot of people. And so it seems like Jesus is okay with this way of life that Zacchaeus has and taking advantage of people. Guilty by association. They're not seeing the fullness of the teaching moment, and they're not seeing that climbing a tree has literally been the catalyst for a change of life for someone who didn't start the day looking to change their life. We are to assume that Zacchaeus started his day by looking to make more money. So Zacchaeus then makes a bold statement in response to the grumbling that seems to contradict the very nature of tax collectors and those working for the empire. Yet we feel that Zacchaeus has been moved by Jesus' willingness to be associated with him, Jesus' willingness to show him that every person is important and is redeemable. He says, look. And it's always interesting in the Bible when it says look and has a comma after it. Because that's important. Look. Half of my possessions, Lord, I will give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I will pay back 4 times as much. He makes a bold statement of restitution. The example of restoring wholeness that Jesus shows, Zacchaeus mirrors. He now says that he'll follow the commandment, which he knows well from the Torah, laid out in Exodus 22:1, that states, the thief shall pay 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. He identifies his shakedown of his neighbors as theft now, rather than simple taxation. And he repents of it. And he says, I will give half my money to the poor. So think about this. Once he gives half his money to the poor, and then he gives back everyone he has defrauded 4 times the amount that he took from them, Zacchaeus is no longer as wealthy as he was 5 minutes ago. But even though he'll lose his wealth, he's committed to a self-induced restitution to make things right with his fellow people and God. Notice how Jesus doesn't say anything while Zacchaeus is talking at the end of the scripture. Jesus doesn't force Zacchaeus. He doesn't interject and say, yes, you will do that. He doesn't say you have to repent and pay restitution. Be a good place for Jesus to say it. All Jesus simply says is he wants Zacchaeus to come down out of the tree so they can go have a meal at his house, so they can have a chat. Zacchaeus could have declined the invitation to his own house. It is his house, after all. He could have said, you know what, Jesus? You're not welcome in my home. You cause a lot of trouble. I like my life the way it is. It's just fine. I like being rich off of all the money I take from my neighbors. Look at my house. look at the stuff I have. Look at the stuff my family has. I like this lifestyle. But he doesn't. Instead, he welcomes the change of life. He accepts that he is one of the lost in terms of how he should be living. Even though he will lose his money, and maybe his wife and other family members will be quite angry with him when he gets home and they realize they no longer have these things. He's gained something worth more. He's regained his fullness of life in the community of God. To be in right relationship with his neighbors, he has accepted the invitation of discipleship to try to be in right relationship with God. Zacchaeus climbed the tree not knowing who was at the center of attention. He climbed the tree not knowing that he would become the center of attention. But once he sees Jesus, he doesn't get down and leave. He stays there in the tree while Jesus comes that way. He's looking for Jesus in the crowd, following his movements. I won't ask for Einstein because he would say yes. But would we climb a tree for Jesus? Would we climb the tree knowing that doing so would force a change in our life? That climbing the tree would bring about changing our whole way of living? This isn't a simple change for Zacchaeus. This is a total transformation of his way of life, his family's way of life. If we climb the tree, how do we look for Jesus from the tree once we're up there? Do we take initiative in our relationship with the one who teaches us how to live? We know that Jesus is always seeking us. We love that imagery, right? Of the shepherd seeking the sheep, keeping us safe. But we have a responsibility of action as well, because our faith calls us to action. What invitation is Jesus issuing to us as individuals and to us as Wabash Christian Church, disciples of Christ? What words is he saying to us after telling us to come down from the tree? What words are we saying to him when we come down from the tree? How do we be in right relationship with other children of God and with God? What change needs to occur in our lives that make us different people coming down the tree than we went up it? This ends this morning's word. Thanks be to God.